Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you being here today. I'm going to go over the new assets that we got from Wallpaper Engine in 2026. I will be showing you a little tutorial of how to use, mostly if we go on to the add assets, and when it actually loads, we'll be going down to water, and we'll be using all these, including the faucet large, the water impact splashes. We'll be using all these today just to basically go through a little kind of waterfall effect, and we'll be going through we'll use like ripple effects and stuff like that for the water, etc. But I just want to kind of like give you a tutorial of how you can possibly do it and make it look quite nice, quite original, and have that really good effect for your wallpaper. So yeah, let's get started. So first of all, I'm going to obviously go on to add asset, and I think because it's a waterfall, we should go basically for maybe the large faucet, maybe potentially, but I want to try the dripping water first just to see what that's like, and then all we're going to do is go on to OK, and it's going to rebuild the shaders now. I am using a 4K wallpaper, so this might be completely different to yours depending on your resolution, but we are going to essentially use this as best we can to try and get a little bit of an effect. We're going to zoom in a bit more so that we can actually get this to a good level, and we're going to try and rotate and see how that works. Now granted, it's not going to work as entirely with just one particular effect. You're going to have to just favorite it here and lock it, and then what you want to do is get more, or what you could do, in fact, rather than do that, just cancel. And what you could do is right click on dripping water, and then you could duplicate, and then what you could do is unlock this one, and then you could easily just use this one and move it downwards, etc. for your wallpaper. This is completely I mean, this for me is fairly new. I'm not entirely sure how this is going to work, but I want to see just for a minute of how this is actually going to work for the foreseeable future on the wallpaper desktop. So what we're going to do is we're going to increase the size a little bit and get that focus, just getting the water flowing just straight down on here in this particular area, which is looking pretty good actually. It's looking really well. Now granted, again, we're going to be using multiple dripping water effects for this particular thing, but at least now we've got one kind of dripping water it's kind of what's the word, it's very original to the actual dripping water. But with this one in particular, we have like an increased size and more of a flow rate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the large one, and I'm going to move it over to this side now, and we're just going to kind of fidget with it and see what this it's going to look like. Because what we want to do as well is we don't want to make it so it looks like unoriginal. You know, we need to make that effect look really, really good. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to increase the lifetime to make it go a little bit further down, and I'm going to do that with each one of these, because then we can kind of see where we're at with the lifetime and where the water actually goes to. So we can kind of like decrease the lifetime up to that point in particular where it hits the water. So in this case in particular, what we want to do now is really we want to try and get it so it's not going so quick. So I'm going to decrease the playback a little bit, and I think that's pretty good. But I think, to be quite honest, we should just keep that as 1, and then use the middle one, which is the other dripping water here that goes down to this part, and we're actually going to slow this down a touch. That's looking pretty good, actually. I'm enjoying that one. And then what we're going to do is the top one, which is this one, the kind of looking fountain kind of looking one. We are going to replace it with this one, because I don't think it's going to work in particular with this one. So I'm going to duplicate this one, and I'm going to put it just underneath there, and I'm going to move it just slightly over here so we can get the full effect on this side of things. So it goes down in a nice little stream down to the rocks, etc., like that. So I'm quite happy with that, so I'm going to lock that in. And now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to decrease the playback slightly, so it's kind of got that same flow as this one in the middle with the dripping water. I'm going to call this one I'm going to actually, because I know I swear you could rename it. There you go, sorry, there you go. So what we're going to call this one here, oh no, it's the wrong one, my bad. It's there, my fault. I completely forgot I needed to actually go up. But we're going to call this one middle waterfall, so that we've got that there, so we know which one's which. I'm going to call this one the left. I don't think you need to unlock it, actually. I think you just need to go up. There you go. So we'll call this one the left waterfall. At the top. Now we will edit this. This one in particular, we'll make it so it actually flows properly all the way down here, because it's going down this kind of direction here. So we're just going to use that and see what happens. I don't want to make this a long video, guys, by the way. It's just a little tutorial, just to kind of like, so you can see how to use this in a way that is befitting for you in particular. So and I'm going to call this one here the right waterfall, because this is the far right of the waterfall here, so we're not getting confused, we're not getting any sort of thing with it, so we're all right, we're all good. Now what I want to do now is with the middle waterfall here, I want to duplicate this. And what I want to do is I'm going to keep it right here. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to unlock it. And I'm now going to put it so that it's going down this way. Down here. But what I want to do is I'm going to decrease the size just a touch, just so it looks like it's going in a specific direction just down here, so the river is flowing from the top all the way down to that part there. So that's quite nice. I quite like that. We are going to potentially I want to see what it looks like if I increase the count. I'm not sure it's going to do much, but okay. Now that's interesting. That looks quite nice. Because it's not giving off much, which is quite, yeah, I quite like that actually. So it's like, it looks like it's flowing down, but it's not showing you the water in particular. Now I am going to increase the speed just a little bit, not the speed. That's my fault, sorry guys. We're going to increase the playback, so it is going down. So we want it about 1.1. Now we are going to obviously play around with the playback rate, and you can do this by yourself, by the way. You can do that completely how you want it, to get your waterfall looking really good. But I mean, it's coming on nicely. As you can see, it needs a few touches here and there, just to get it a little bit more into the sort of flow, like the middle waterfall here. Oh, before I forget guys, this one we just done. Let's go up here and we'll go for middle little waterfall, so that we're not getting confused entirely, so that we can see there is just this one right here. So middle waterfall, what I could do is I'll put big, so that we're not getting confused again. And what we can do is we will unlock it, and we can just kind of go and maybe move it slightly so that it looks like it's going a nice direction. Now what we could do is increase the count so it actually goes a bit more, and what we'll do is as well, we will decrease the size a touch. I think it's just about fiddling with it really. I think 1.17 looks pretty good. I think it just needs a bit more, you know. What we could do, in fact, is we could increase the size here and increase the playback. Just that ever so slightly. So let's keep it at 1. Sorry, I keep hitting my microphone. So if you want to know what the thudding is, it's just me on the microphone just hitting it by accident. So I mean, it's looking alright. Now we can change the colour. I'm going to change it to white and see what happens here. There's not much of a difference. I mean, you can have blood red water. if you really wanted to. But I think maybe a grey, because the only problem with this is it's just the effect in general. It's obviously going a bit too, it's a bit stringy, if you get my meaning. So what I want to do is I want to just downplay the lifetime a touch, and just see if that actually works better. See, that kind of works. We're at 1 here, which is quite nice. So what we could do here, actually, guys, is we could let's make a duplicate and then call this one Waterfall 2, so we're not getting too confused here. Then what we could do is we could go downwards like this, because it is going in a certain direction here as well, so we could just do like that. Now let's just have a look quickly. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's doing the best effect, if I'm quite honest. I wonder if it could be just the wallpaper itself that might be thingy. But what we'll try and do then, guys, is I want to just, I'm not going to get rid of these. I'm just going to hide them, and what I want to do is add the faucet like I said I was going to, and see what happens with this instead. Because it's all trial and error. That's all we need to work on, really. It's all trial and error. Just need to see what works. I mean, this is very... I'm not entirely sure. Maybe decrease the opacity a little bit. Huh. Interesting. Okay. It doesn't seem too bad. It's very distinct with the pattern. Let's increase the size a little bit. Yeah, that's probably not going to work, if I'm quite honest. The count doesn't really... I mean, it does affect it, but not too much. Let's try and just decrease the playback rate and then increase it and see what happens. Okay, I went a bit too hard there. Let's decrease this a little bit more. That's not too bad. Using that isn't too bad. Okay. So let's duplicate this, and then let's put this here. That's interesting. And then let's do another one. Put that just around here. Huh. You know what? That actually looks really good. Let's try just playing around. Just have this being the way it is now. And then we're just going to move this one. I know I'm making a lot of things on the side here, but I'm just experimenting a little bit. Now the waterfall itself looks a little bit like it's going a bit too fast, so I'm going to just play a little bit with it. Maybe 0.6 seems really good. or 0.60. Seems like a fair number for this, and a fair speed. Okay, it's looking okay so far, not gonna lie. And we've got this one now, and that's looking really good, actually. Let's just have a look what we can see from the back here. You know what? I like it. That is quite nice, and it's not too visible either, and it looks like it's actually flowing down the actual waterfall itself, and not like the other one where it just looked like it was really stringy and all that stuff, etc. But the large faucet actually works pretty well. Now, what we could do is kind of put this all together and see what happens. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually thinking that getting rid of these is probably for the best. I quite like this. I quite like how this is going. Now, what we could do here is we can use. Now I'm going to just lock these, and I'm going to add asset and go onto the dripping water again and press OK. And what we could do now is have it so the drips from this, from the moss, like the hanging moss here, we can have it so it looks like it's dripping from that. Let's go for this one first. It's quite like that. Now what we could do is just drop the opacity a little bit, like that. And then what we can do is just drop the lifetime size as well. That looks quite nice. It's going a bit too much. So you want it, I think about 0.50. Maybe not. Let's try 4.5. 4.5 seems good enough. Okay, so we're going to duplicate that, and we're going to try it on the other ones here, over here as well. And we're going to do this one. Now we will drop the we'll drop this down a touch to, let's say 0.4. That should be fine. What I want to do is just get this one again, and I want to put it so it's right here, like that, which is very nice. Now obviously what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to kind of like make ripples as well, of the water just dripping down, which will be really handy for us in this particular concept. But I quite like it how it's going so far. Actually, it's looking really nice. So far so good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put something here, so another large faucet. We're going to duplicate that, and I'm just going to unlock it. Now I might need to obviously play with this a little bit, because it's not going to go very well otherwise. We're going to drop the size a touch, because it's not that big. around here. So it is going this direction slightly. Around there, and it's going a bit more down. Let's get it to the right a touch. About there, I think, is quite nice. That is quite nice. I like that. So I'm going to think of that one. Now you can call this whatever you want, guys. But I'm just gonna leave this like this because I kind of know where everything is. But I mean, it's looking really good so far, so good. Anyway, now I do want to try and see what I can do with this. I'm going to probably do effects now, I think, and make sure you go on to your actual wallpaper itself here at the top, where it is normally, and then just go on add effects. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to go on to list, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on to water flow just for a minute and do this. And what we're going to do is go on flow map just on the right hand side and go on paint. And then we're just going to zoom in right here, and the strength will be very, very high. But what we're going to do is just go for this for now and see how it go. I'm just going to paint this going in a sort of direction going downwards in the direction of where the waterfall is going, and obviously the what we've just done. Okay, so that's looking really good. Just make sure you get the top of it so it does look like it's actually flown from the top itself. And what we're going to do is we're going to go on smooth. Just going to smooth this out a touch from the top. Now we can play around with the strength in a minute, but I just want to try and get this in a good smooth state so that it doesn't look too overbearing. So I'm quite happy with that. Now what we could do again, like I said, we can just drop the strength down a little bit, potentially. Maybe what the phase scale maybe is it? Something like that. And then let's drop the strength. Something like that might do. We want the feather to be quite high. So I'm going to try and get this higher. I don't know whether it will work. I don't think I was meant to put that. This is looking okay. So as you can see right now, it's looking a little bit fine from this point. I think it just needs to... I think it kind of needs a little bit something for speed. So let's do the speed a little bit, just to kind of make it so it looks like it's going in the same sort of flow, same sort of time, like that, for example, which is quite nice. Quite like that. And again, we can up the strength if needs be, like so. Now what we could do as well, guys, is now that we've kind of got this sorted here, as you can see where the red is where I've smoothed it all out. But what we could do is we can drop the strength down and just make sure that we have got everything from here off, from the sides, etc. Because the last thing we want is... oh, I forgot to put it on the direction, my bad guys. So come off smooth and go on to direction. I was wondering why it wasn't working. There we go, that's a bit better. So we want to just do that for a minute. Just make sure that there's nothing that's gonna dissuade the image from the actual, from the flow. So something like that, which is quite nice. I mean, this is really good. I have quite I just press OK to save it, guys, by the way, if you really want to do that. But this is really nice, and I have no idea what just happened there. My screen just went really... oh, it's because it's saved. I see. But yeah, I mean, it's looking really nice. There's obviously some little tweaks you can do here and there if you really wanted to, but what we could do now is we can kind of like put the water impact asset in. So I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna do the water impact splashes. Now, I don't know how these are gonna go, but we'll see. They look a little bit... I don't know how to put it. It's just, they look very strange. Now, what we could do is just kind of make it so it's... I mean, honestly, I don't think this is even needed as such. It just, to me, it doesn't look that great, but I mean, we could just do it so the opacity's down like that, and then maybe put the playback speed up a little bit. Let's use the count, maybe increase the size a touch, like that. Actually, that kind of works. Not gonna lie, that does kind of work. Maybe increase the lifetime. Actually, that didn't work. We could possibly make it so that it does that. There you go, like that maybe. So let's duplicate this and do this a few more times, and we'll just sit back and kind of see where we're going with this, because it does look like it's kind of working. You can also increase the size of it, which is quite nice with this bigger sort of waterfall here. And do it like that. I mean, it kind of works slightly, but I mean, that's for options, guys. It's completely up to you if you want to use that, but to me, I would probably use it maybe for just like the smaller ones. The bigger one, you could probably just use something a bit different. I don't know, not sure yet, but we'll see. So we're going to go back onto here now. We're going to use ripples for the water. So I'm going to add And I'm going to go onto water ripple, just here, and it will go like a little screeny like this, but we'll just go on to paint. And what we'll do is we'll just increase the size a touch, and what we'll do is obviously the strength's going to be at 255, but we'll be fine with that. So we could just paint this like this for a minute, because really what we're going to try and do is we're just going to, we can obviously take things away when we need to. And clear up any mistakes, etc. If you hear any noises, by the way, guys, other than my voice, it is just outside my building. They're being very, very noisy out there, so I do apologise. But we are just going to do this very, very slightly. Let's make sure we've got all of the kind of water areas in particular. Again, we will sort this out with strength, etc. We just want to get that brief outline of where the water is going and how to use it. So what I might do is just leave it like this, maybe. Because this is kind of dry, this part of this kind of swampy. I don't think it's going to be very ripply, etc. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to go on to the ripple strength. I'm just going to drag that down a little bit like so, and as you can see, it's quite, it is ripply, but what we can do is like we can scale it up as much as we want so that it looks like it's in the sort of Riviera area. We can even increase the animation speed if you want, or decrease it. Now I'm going to keep it around 0.9. I think that's quite nice. We can obviously decrease and increase the ratio of the ripples. So I think 3 would really be nice for this. Looks really, yeah, I think this looks really nice from this point. Now you can change the ripple direction as well, so you can have it so it's flowing literally towards you like this from the waterfall. Now obviously you can fiddle around and you could actually put another ripple scale here so that you can have the ripples coming towards you down this way and that way, etc. But I'm just going to leave this like that. But that's completely optional for you guys, but I quite like that. It looks really nice from this point. Now what I'm going to do is obviously I will go and decrease, go put this to 0, and we're just going to go on to like these sort of areas here. I'm going to decrease this a little bit, like 32 might be a good idea. And any of like these sort of rocky areas, any sticks in the water, etc., we'll just make sure that they are unrippled. I think this part in particular is fine. Doesn't seem too bad from this part. I could have kept like that really, but it'll be fine. Sure. And again, this is just for your entertainment, I suppose, as well, guys. Really, it's nothing. It's just a nice little task for me, as well as showing you kind of the ropes in a sort of way that I've learned from Wallpaper Engine. Now I'm going to just move that like that. There we go. So it's just a case of just getting all the ripples from here, all these edges, just so it looks like it's not gonna affect your image. In particular, I'll probably edit this out so that you can kind of see what it looks like after, rather than you watching me do this. I think I've covered it all. Now again, you can easily play around with like the strength, the ripple scale, but I quite like the way it is. It looks really nice. I'm going to press OK on that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on to workshop. No, I'm not. I forgot the button to preview. Oh, there you go. So that's what it's going to look like on my screen when I'm in the desktop. So it's going to look quite nice. I'm going to save as. I'm going to call this Waterfall. Press OK. And I'm going to apply the wallpaper. And there you go. As you can see, it looks very nice. Now you could obviously move the trees here by using the shake tool, or you could you know, you could have it so you could have the sounds of water dripping down. You could import sounds of like nature itself, just kind of like, you know, birds chirping, etc., stuff like that. I mean, you could just do that and just kind of add to the environment and the actual image of the photo, and the wallpaper itself. It looks really good. I mean, I could probably do a bit more with it, but I mean, it looks really good in my opinion. So yeah, I think that's where I'm going to end this tutorial. So thank you very much for joining me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this and found it informative. Please remember to like and subscribe and comment down below on your thoughts of the video. If you want to see my workshop, it'll be in the link in the description. And if you want to obviously have the wallpaper for yourself, I will upload it to the workshop in Wallpaper Engine on my profile, so you can subscribe to it and have it for your own. So thanks very much, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.